Storygram Network.
Hey, Gerardo, what are you doing this summer?
What am I doing? Don't even get me started. There's a bunch of stuff that we're doing in the summer here at the center.
That's right. It's called Summers at the Center.
Summers at the center.
Thursday night. Starting actually tonight, which is Thursday, beginning of summer. But we are going all the way to the end of
August.
September. August? Yeah. And what that means is you can come and try something new. Maybe it's a combo experience like brushes and beats where you'll dance and have bilingual paint night. Maybe it's trying line dancing with the Line Dancing Hometown Hoedown. Maybe it's a class, margaritas and Mexican ceviche.
Mexican ceviche. Yeah, that'll be me right there, Come
with
and
Chef
join
G.
us. Yeah.
We've also got Clay and Chardonnay, Bellinis and Birdhouses, salsa dancing and sangria, and 2 amazing concerts.
And let's not forget cocktails and competition.
Cocktails and competition coming
That'll
next
be
week.
nice. One of the big concerts is going to be the Cavani Jazz Project. That's going
right.
to be really good. And that will be in June 27th.
June 27th, that's coming, as well as what do we have coming at the end of August, which was hugely popular.
Yeah, that's Braulio Barrera con Kimba. That will be in August 29th.
And I think we're going to have our pals, our unofficial non-sponsors, but we love them, Costa
The
Tacos.
Costa Tacos. Whoop, whoop.
So come and join us. We like to satisfy all the palates. Tickets are available for individual experiences, or you can buy a summer pass for very affordability.
Yeah, they won't be disappointed. There's so many good things happening that they're going to be happy.
Exactly.
To buy the tickets.
Join us. Summers at the Center 2024. You can get your tickets at sonomacommunitycenter.org.
Yep. Let's get our dancing starting, huh?
You bet. Hello, we are the Sonoma Community Center podcast, a place of creativity, connection, and community. We highlight the artists, teachers, and the community that come through the doors of our historic brick building, often called the heart of Sonoma. We share local tips and shout-outs to our home, Sonoma Valley. And we are your hosts, Molly Spencer.
Gerardo Diaz.
We are the engagement team of the Sonoma Community Center. Welcome back to the Sonoma Community Center podcast. I am Molly.
And Gerardo Diaz.
We are coming to you on the hottest day on Earth in July.
Oh, my goodness. Are you melting, Molly?
Well, we're in a nice little cool music room right now, although it's getting kind of stuffy. The halls are always nice and cool at the Sonoma Community Center. But yes, it's supposed to heat up to a nice whopping, 108 today?
What?
I don't know. Probably in my house in Boys Hot Springs.
Well, you know what? We just got a new AC in the office, so I'm going to spend more time in the office than in my house.
Exactly.
Today.
They know how to make us work harder. Longer. But things are going good. We're gearing up for the 4th of July. Did you know that the Sonoma Community Center used to put on the 4th of July? I'm sure you've heard a story or through. So we're so lucky and we're grateful that the volunteer firefighters have taken it over. But we are going to be in the parade. Yeah, the theme is magic this year, and we are creating magic down here at Sonoma Community Center. We have giant puppets this year. So we did have puppets last year, and we are going to make them even bigger this year with the help of Lexi Bakar. Yay, Lexi, and now Kobayashi. So exciting, and that leads us into the theme of the show, which I'm thrilled. Since we started this podcast, I've been wanting to have this guest on the whole time for all 33 episodes. And I want to just give a little shout out. Here she is, Lee Armstrong.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, just a little bit. A little synopsis on Lee. Lee is co-owner, producer, and puppeteer at Images in Motion, a company that specializes in puppetry for TV and film and the 3D printing division. She's also a recipient of 2 regional Emmys as a producer, writer, and puppeteer. She's had a key part of videos that have earned awards at the National Ad Council. You can tell I'm reading this. You've received 2 Canada Council grants to study theater and music in New York and San Francisco. She has worked on Canadian network TV for 10 years, including 3 years as a puppeteer on Jim Henson's Emmy-winning Fraggle Rock, which I'm sure everybody knows that if they've been around for the past 40 years, big part of childhood. As well as other credits. Partial credits Follow That Bird, Monkeybone, being John Malkovich, past president of San Francisco. Wait, are you president this now?
I am again.
You're president again.
Yes, I'm president again.
President around for the second time of the San Francisco Bay Area Puppeteers Guild. And I know recently UC Santa Cruz professor, so much more, and beloved treasure of Sonoma. How lucky are we? That's a lot, right? That's a mouthful.
Well, I feel lucky. I love Sonoma. It is a wonderful place and everybody works together and people are doing interesting things. So I consider myself very lucky.
How long have you been in Sonoma?
Probably about between 25 and 30 years. We came up here and found a place and built a workshop and a shooting studio, and it's been super.
Wow. Well, as you can hear, folks, about you're from Canada, right?
Yes.
What part of Canada are you from?
I am the lovely province of Nova Scotia.
Oh,
Nova Scotia.
way over on the other side.
Yes, above
Way up.
Maine, for
Above
those
Maine.
of you who are geographically challenged.
Nova
Well,
Scotia.
my parents lived in Maine for a little bit, so
Okay.
Nova Scotia. It sounds familiar. I heard it in a movie, maybe The Terminal, maybe with Tom Hanks. Nova Scotia.
it's beautiful. It's very rugged,
Yeah,
right?
rugged. It's sort of
Cold.
like Maine, but less people. And you're really close to the ocean wherever you are. And yes, I like the weather here. I was doing a shoot in Toronto, and I came out here in February, and I remember taking off my jacket, my scarf, my mittens, my boots, putting on sneakers and running up a hill. And I went, I want to live in the Bay Area.
Yes, I feel the same way when I did a little time, even though I was born on the East Coast. Once you get a little taste out here, I think I made it for almost a couple of years in New York, and I just needed this heat again. But I don't know. I don't know about today.
I don't know
Today's
about
the
I don't
right
want
day
the
to
heat
ask about
today
the heat.
It's horrible. It's brutal out there.
It's going to be brutal. Fantastic. So you grew up in Nova Scotia. Family, what was your childhood like? If you're a puppeteer, I can
Magical.
only imagine what kind of imagination ran through your head as a kid.
Well, I think I was lucky because my mother came from a theater background, and she was the only person in this little village that would consider driving her kids 30 miles away to watch musicals at the university.
Oh, wow.
And, you know, we're just very lucky. I did first year music at university, and I realized very quickly that I did not want to spend 8 hours a day in a practice room. So I took off a year and I went down to Canada ManPower, which is where you go in Canada for a job. And I said I was looking for a job in the arts. Do you want to hear this story?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
of course.
this is how I got started. I've always considered myself very lucky. I go in, I say, I would like a job in the arts. And the lady there goes, would you like to be a waitress, a secretary, or a clerk? And I went, no. I'd like a job in the arts, like photography or silk screening or theater or anything like that. And she says, we have no jobs like that. And I said, well, could you make a folder for the arts? And she said, I could, but it would do you no good. And I went, oh, well, please. So she got out a folder. She wrote the arts on it. She put my application in, and the very next day, they got a call from Mermaid Theatre in Nova Scotia looking for a puppeteer.
Oh, that's so cool.
You made them create that folder.
Yes, so always, I do a lot of teaching, and for little kids, I say, ask for what you want, because you never know what will turn up. So I went off and did a 6-month tour, and after that, I went, oh, this is fun.
You knew nothing about puppeteering.
Absolutely
But it was
nothing.
in the arts.
Yes. So they trained me. I did a tour, had a great time. And
What kind of puppet was it for, by the way? Was it
we did
marionette?
No, we did rod puppets, and we did Aesop's Fables.
What's raw puppets?
Yeah.
Oh, rod
So
puppets.
we're starting
Yeah.
from beginning
Right.
here.
Okay, so a rod puppet is operated, usually there's a rod in the head that turns the head, and then both hands are rodded. So Muppets are similar, both hands are rodded, but your hand goes up inside the head and makes the mouth work. For a rod puppet, it might have a trigger mechanism that makes the mouth work, or you may just by moving it give the impression that that voice is coming from that puppet.
Interesting. Okay, yeah.
Rod.
I think Now has one.
Just a rod.
That's
Yes.
the type of puppet that she has down at the when she brings it
Oh,
to
now
the farmer's
the
market.
little one
The
that she
little
goes-
man.
The little man.
Yeah, the little man is a rod
Little
puppet,
man.
right?
She just won a Telly Award for that little man was in something she produced, which was called Little Journey. It was shot at our studios, Images of Motion. Actually, Images of Motion just won 2 Tellys. Now,
Tell us what a Telly Award is.
Okay. A Telly is for, it's a media competition. It's around the world, mostly in America. But you're judged, and she won an award for her little journey with that little rod guy.
You know
She's so
that
modest.
when I see that thing where she's holding it and moving it, I feel sadness from that puppet, you know? She's like moving it, you know, the expression on the puppet. It's amazing.
I think when
amazing.
oh yeah, absolutely.
Sadness. Okay.
I don't know, because he's like this,
yes.
you know? It's like,
He's pensive.
and then slowly
Yes.
picks up, you know? I mean, I don't know.
He's a pensive puppet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
most puppets are much happier, like Kermit the
Yeah.
Frog, you know, the cheerleader
Yeah.
of the group. But
I think that's what we're used for from Now's background, coming out of Buto and performance art and that sort of thing. Just brings a different quality in there.
right.
Yeah. And then I saw you when you were doing your, I don't know, it's like a bird or something. I don't know what it was. The puppet that you had.
Character, yes.
Yeah. Like the movement on the feathers that has around the neck.
Yeah.
And you were moving it, and it was like so natural. It looked so cool, actually. I thought it was amazing.
Well, I've always loved the quote. Bill Baird, famous New York puppeteer, always said, "A puppet is an idea in motion." And really, I think that to be expressive, the puppet has to move and bring something to life.
That's amazing. We're going to go down the rabbit hole of puppeteering. You're up in Nova Scotia. What's the next steps? Where do you go after? Is it the Mermaid Theater?
So that was Mermaid Theater. And then I asked them what I could do to learn more about puppetry. And they said, you should go to a puppet festival. So I went to Michigan at Ann Arbor and spent a couple of weeks at a puppet festival there. And I looked around and there were 1,000 people.
Wow.
And I went, there are some people here that are earning a living doing puppetry. That is what I want to do. So I went to the puppet festival, learned a lot, came back, and I think the next thing is I really wanted to work for a puppeteer in Toronto who had a wonderful theater. And I asked her if I could work for her. She said she didn't have any paying jobs. And I went, okay, I'll volunteer. So I volunteered for 3 weeks. And at the end of 3 weeks, she got a Canada Council grant to do shadow puppets. And so she hired me and I worked with her for 3 or 4 years. And then she passed on a TV job that she did in Toronto. And so I started doing TV puppets.
Love it.
That was when they said, fill 5 minutes.
Okay. You could do whatever you want.
Yep.
So backing up just a little bit here, because people might not know this, and I want to throw it out before we go down the extreme details of what we're doing as well. What inspired you is a puppet festival, and what we have coming up here in August, thanks to Lee, is a puppet festival.
Well, I think it's a wonderful opportunity to see really great shows and have really good workshops.
The workshops are top notch. Some of them, I can't even decide which one I want to do, like some samples.
I would recommend TV puppetry can be used for all sorts of social media.
Yeah.
And I would highly recommend that. Swazzle is coming in. They've done Pee Wee Herman. They've done tons of different TV crank yankers. They've been some of the puppets for Puppets Up, which is a Jim Henson production that travels. But they're all good. We have a whole education track on Friday, August the 2nd. And I'm going to teach how to puppeteer in 4 simple steps. Learn these steps and you can start performing.
Gerardo, I need you to come to this. So Oscar, the Sonoma Community Center puppet that was born here years ago, a couple of years ago in Lee's mini puppet camp for adults, He needs a friend.
I need to make
Oscar
Poncho.
needs a friend.
Yes.
Poncho. Poncho's coming.
Poncho, I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
Okay, so you may want to take one of the building workshops. There's
Yes.
Build a Monster. Actually, the Build a Monster workshop is taught by two 15-year-old
What?
puppeteers.
I love it.
They are awesome. And they just called me up yesterday because I have lots of fur fabric and we're going to get together. They're going to make up a little kit and then you can make a monster puppet. Recommend it for, actually, they're taking anybody 9+ years to adult, including
great.
adults. And you do need to know how to hand sew or bring somebody along with you that knows how to hand sew.
Oh, that's how you do it. You make
Yes.
someone else do your work.
Yeah. Hey, Lee, I got a question, Lee. You know the puppets that they use where the guy is actually moving, but you can see...
Ventriloquist.
Ventriloquist. That's
Yes.
what it is. They can move their mouth, but it seems like the puppet is talking, you know?
Yeah.
And they're like...
So you want to be a ventriloquist.
No, I just
But you
I like watching them.
Yes.
It's just amazing how you can see how they're speaking, but the puppet is like, and they can make the voice though. How do they do it?
So we've got one of our workshops is being done by Marisol Himmel. She's a ventriloquist. She is teaching a workshop on ventriloquism at another puppet festival. Here she's going to be in the educator's workshop because she's also got brilliant ideas for what to do with a group of kids. But you can go to the ventriloquism is not that hard. And usually there are some consonants that are hard to pronounce and you do a substitution thing. So B as in boy is hard to say. So you would substitute something that sounds similar but is not quite a B. And you can practice this until you're really, really good. There's books in the library. There's lots of information online. You can learn it online very easily.
Huh. All right.
I like those puppets, and I just like how they do it, you know? They barely move their mouth and stuff.
And there's some wonderful ventriloquists.
Yes.
Yeah. A lot of America's Got Talent winners have been ventriloquists.
Wow.
Is that right?
Yeah, Terry Factor
Wow.
and yeah.
I grew up with the Muppets, Sesame
The
Street and all that.
Muppets.
So the Muppets is like, actually from my own perspective, Jim Henson was, as a kid, was one of the first people that had passed away. It's kind of how I learned about death, right? And that actually affected me a lot. I loved the Muppets. We didn't have TV, but I had all the books and everything. And then when I got a little older, I had the Muppet magazine, you name
Really?
it. So
Yeah.
boy, was I excited when I got to meet you in town and just kind of being 6 degrees of separation from this whole
We're
in it.
three. We're three.
3
Yes,
degrees
3
of
degrees.
separation. So, I mean, does that bring you back, like, when you were getting into the TV puppetry, you said you went to Michigan?
Yes, and actually, Jim, he was an amazing supporter of all puppeteers. And he would come to the puppet festivals and teach, very much like what Squazzle is doing now. So he would come. I took some workshops from Jim, and I always thought, wouldn't it be wonderful to work for the Muppets? But how can I do it because I'm Canadian and they're American and I don't have a green card? And anyhow, Jim came up to Toronto and decided to shoot Fraggle Rock, which was the series right after the Muppet Show.
Okay,
And
yeah.
he brought 10 American puppeteers. And because Canada likes to have equality, they wanted Jim to hire 10 Canadian puppeteers. So they put out a call, and they had about 300 people probably audition,
Wow.
and they hired 10. So I was one of the 10. I felt very fortunate, but I auditioned with a little Kermit the Frog and did a sort of Fred Astaire dance number with it. And he said, "You look just like my daughter." And I went, "Oh, that's nice. He'll remember me."
Good.
So anyhow, so I actually got a chance. Very often, if you're doing dance routines with a puppet, one person will do the head and another person will do the arms, so they're coordinated. So I got a chance to do Jim's hands, and he's so wonderful puppeteer. It was
Really?
just that surge of energy going up through his puppet. It was amazing, and I learned so much from watching him on shoot because he would come puppeteer and direct.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. That's a big
Well,
vision.
you
That's
do
a
playbacks.
full vision. Yeah.
But you do playbacks,
That's
and
right.
so you see what you shoot, and then you go, okay, well, that was good. What can I do to make it better? And Jim was always great at listening to everybody's ideas, whether you were a puppeteer or lighting or camera. He expected everybody to contribute, and what can you do to make it better?
Well, that shows.
Yeah,
That shows in the quality. Did you work on Fraggle Rock for a while?
Yes,
that was your job.
I worked for 3 years, and I also did my last year of university on the third year, which it was a full load plus Fraggle Rock, but I really wanted to move to San Francisco. I had come out and studied Japanese music, actually.
Oh, wow.
In San Francisco, and worked with the San Francisco Mime Troupe, and my plan was to move to the Bay Area.
Like do some mime work, possibly?
No, I as an intern, you just help out wherever they need it. So, but I always thought all the training, everything that you learn is very useful. So
yes, you're right. Dance, theater, directing, you name it all. Puppeteering, that's
all the
part
arts
of
are
it.
interconnected, and once you do one, it's great to explore other venues and avenues.
Then you can always end up at the Sonoma Community Center.
You can.
Where we can do it all.
Yep.
We do it all.
I love the community center. It is so supportive of the arts, and it tries to be very inclusive. And you guys have been great for the Puppet Festival because you're excited about it, and I think it'll be great fun.
This is kind of turning out to be like the second half of the summer is the summer of the puppet.
Yes.
So we have summers at the center with everything that's happening every Thursday. Summers at the puppet. Well, not just the Puppet Festival, but now Kobayashi, who works for you sometimes as well.
Well, she works for Images in Motion.
Yeah, Images in Motion, shall I say. Was also tied in with Trash and Fashion. Yeah. So was the theatrical winner out of that. But this kind of evolved, and next thing you know, she's doing giant puppets. And we actually have a woman that's coming in too, our next ceramics artist in residence, who is also a puppeteer.
Yay!
Gosh, I can't wait till she gets here. Yeah,
Where's she
believe it or
from?
not. She's in New York, and she's done a little work on Saturday Night Live. Anyway, she's got a very interesting story, but puppeteering is a part of that too. So it's all of a sudden bubbling up.
When is she coming?
She should be here probably in the middle of July. I think she'll be here by the Puppet Festival. And I wish I knew her name, but Meg Billingham is not here. I haven't seen that information yet. But it's the Ceramics Artist in Residence, as you know, is a 6 months program, and she'll be here with her own show and working on her own things. And she's a multimedia, sounds like a fantastic person. So
yeah. Oh, and talking about multimedia, if people are interested in social media, we have a workshop by Grant. I think he's got like 3 million viewers on TikTok.
Wow.
And anyhow, he's coming to do social media for puppeteers, but you could use it for anything. Or you could take the TV workshop and the social media workshop and then start promoting your own things on.
That was my intention with Oscar. He's made appearances. He's been on this podcast. He does a lot of outreach. Yes, doing a video here would be amazing, and learning a little bit more details of what that looks like.
Yeah.
It's not easy. Those puppeteer tricks, not easy. I mean, it is, but it isn't. But
it is a skill and an art.
Yes,
but
exactly.
A lot of people that are into theater, movement, dance make really good puppeteers.
Wow, all right. Woo-woo.
In Mexico, I grew up watching this show called Topollillo.
Oh, yes. Very famous.
Italian, I believe it was.
Yeah.
The producer. But it was amazing.
I'm not familiar.
No, it was a little tiny mouse. And he was like, and it was a puppet, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and I think he performed on the Ed Sullivan Show way back when.
So Mexico is super popular. It got really, really good.
And Mexico has some fine puppeteers. If we did a larger festival, we were talking about there's a Mexican puppet troupe we'd love to bring in. However, we do have... Oh, can I talk about shows that we have?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm very excited. On Friday night, August the 2nd, is Los Animalitos. And it's rather nonverbal, but whatever dialogue there is done in English and Spanish. Great for families. It won the Golden Apple of Kazakhstan for Best Children's Show, done by Magical Moonshine Theater. They are just out of Vallejo. They are the treasures of
they're
Vallejo.
Local.
Yes.
Yeah.
They also do the 4th of July parade in Vallejo. They do giant puppets, and they built a Miss General Vallejo and his wife.
Oh, wow.
and their horse. And so it would be wonderful to see the Sonoma Community Center and the Vallejo parade people get together. We'd have an amazing parade.
I've gotten to meet them. And they're going to be over here for the Puppet Festival.
Yes,
right?
they are. And they're also teaching. So they're doing that show. They're teaching a workshop called Puppets in Story and Song. That's part of the Educators Workshop. What do you do with children to involve them in story and song with puppets? So they have been around the world. They've performed everywhere. Highly recommend them. The other one that I want to point out, Oregon Shadow Theater, 4:00 on Saturday the 3rd. Beautiful shadow puppets. They're doing the play of Green Parrot, which is a Mexican folktale. Music is live. Mick does the music. Deb does all the shadow puppetry. And this might be one of the last performances they do before they retire.
Oh,
so
what's the name of that one again? It's the Shadow Puppets.
It's Oregon Shadow Theater doing Green Parrot.
Okay.
And it also has audience participation. It's got Hispanic music. I've seen them perform many times, and they are really a wonderful show. And then there's one more show. Friday at 4 is Nonverbal. I've seen this show years ago, and I still remember it. It is marionettes, beautifully crafted marionettes by Fratello Marionettes here in the Bay Area. And it is a series of children's folk tales such as Tortoise and the Hare and the Three Little Pigs. And it's a mashup. So so you see the story, but it's all done to classical, humorous French music.
Okay.
So
is there a lot of movement and dancing since they're marionettes?
So there is some wonderful movement, and you've got the Three Little Pigs, which are very funny. Tortoise and the Hare. It's a great show. It's super for even young children can follow it easily. So I'd say 3 and up for. But adults, I've enjoyed it. It's just so beautifully done.
Fantastic.
So that would work well for Hispanic and English speaking or Vietnamese or anybody.
Right.
Yes.
I think puppets kind of transcend sometimes.
They travel well.
Because exactly. And just a side note too, isn't there an adult type of puppet? So I'm kind of excited about this one.
Thank you for
the
mentioning.
Puppet Slant, the Summer of Love. Right?
Summer of Love.
Of Puppet Love.
I think very appropriate for Sonoma. And slams are sponsored in part by Heather Henson, the youngest daughter of Jim, and her Puppet Slam network. So you can go there and get some information on slams, but basically it is a comedy variety show for adults with taste.
People were asking me, what is it like a poetry slam? I figured it was like, okay, let's get the straight scoop out of Lee, how you can digest exactly what you're going to be walking into at this puppet slam.
So it's a combination of many things. So do allow like 2.5 hours or so for this experience on Saturday night, starting at 7. There's usually a live band. They will play some songs. Then the MCs, which are Michael and Valerie Nelson of Magical Moonshine Theater, are curating the best of adult puppets recommended for teens and adults. The puppets do not take off their clothes. So, but it's usually more adult content, but, and just fun. There's fun songs.
I saw a movie for adults, puppet movie. It's called The Happy Time Murders.
Oh, yeah. That's a Muppet. Yeah.
What a great movie.
I didn't know that one.
Oh,
I guess I
blood
got
everywhere.
Yeah, you'll love that movie.
Okay.
Super funny.
Okay. So, yes, the slam could be something like that, but usually they have audience participation. They usually have an intermission. There's adult beverages available at a no-host bar.
What is that at?
Wow.
When?
That's going to be here?
Yes.
It's going to be here?
In Andrews
Yes.
Hall. Yeah. It should be great fun. And then during intermission, usually the audience might make a puppet, and towards the end, the audience can be in, there's usually a song that goes with the puppet, and the puppeteers all can come on stage and be part of the show. So
I'm so excited.
Me too.
I'm coming for sure.
Good. Okay.
I want to take all of them.
Yeah. Well, that's what we hope people will do. Please go to the community center website, go down to events, see the festival. Oh, and there's more things for the festival. Should I talk about store and...
A store.
There's a puppet store. Folkmonis Puppets out of Emeryville, one of the largest puppet display makers, have given us some Folkmonis puppets. They'll be in the store, some puppet books. People will be selling puppets. There's some vendor tables out.
Wow.
So I think
There's
there'll
some
be...
loot.
Yes,
This is truly a festival.
There are things to see. The puppet exhibit is beautiful.
Yes, let's go back there. So, folks, we're tuning in. We're going to get this out as soon as possible, this podcast. But the puppet, it's starting actually, we're really launching on, is it Monday?
Monday, yeah.
So I think by the time this comes out, it will be open.
But it's open for a month.
Yeah, it's open for a month. And there's some amazing puppets up in Gallery 212, second floor, Sonoma Community Center. Everybody come on down and check it out. You do have to stop in the office, which is a little different than our open door policy we've had in the past. That is because there's some really special puppets up there. Am I not right, Lee?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So people were willing to loan the puppets, but they did want it secure. And if anybody wants to volunteer to come down and sit with this for an afternoon, then we can leave the door open.
Exactly. I agree.
Security. You want a security.
Yes.
You would be great in security.
Yes.
Maybe
I was told I look
my...
like an electrician today, so yes, I can be a security.
And I look like I work for the state parks today.
Yeah, you're all greens.
We're
very
pretty
nice.
official, but we could be official up there. Just take an afternoon and be a puppet protector.
Yes.
And it's so fun up there. It's really fun.
I need to take a look.
Yeah, you need to take a look.
Actually, it spans 70 years of mostly Bay Area puppeteers and what they've built. So puppeteers that I know, Louis Mallman, Lumen Code, Letty Schubert, all these people built puppets back in like the 50s, 60s, 70s. Yeah. Those are up there, plus contemporary puppets. We have a marionette from John Malkovich.
That one is pretty wild. I had to go look it up in the movie again yesterday.
I know. And this is how puppetry is such a small community. About 30 years ago, I think we did that. And we built all those puppets in 3 weeks in our garage here in Sonoma. And then they went down
for the ones that were in John Malkovich? Wow.
Yeah. And we got that job through the Puppet Guild. At that time, Mike Osnowitz, who is the father of Frank Oz, said, you girls, you could make those puppets for John Malkovich. And he made a recommendation. And the next thing we know, we're talking to Spike Jonze, and he's interested.
I forgot Spike Jonze did that.
Yeah.
It's a wild movie. And I just watched that little section again.
Oh, I'd highly recommend it.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's totally strange. But that part is worth it. It stands out now.
Well, it's become a cult classic. And when we saw the script, we went, wonderful script. There's no way they can cut the puppets out in editing because it's so much a part of the show.
It really is. Yeah. It really is. Okay, so when you came out to California, were you in San Francisco first, or was it Sonoma kind of immediately?
Oh, I was Sausalito, then Mill Valley, then Corte Madera.
You just jumped slow by slow.
Yeah. San Rafael.
And when we came to Sonoma, we realized that this was a place we could, we have a cottage industry. We have 2 houses and a shooting studio and an office.
Wow.
And we work out of both. I have the office at my house and the shooting studio. And we've shot things for Baby Einstein, just tons of different things. We've shot Folkmonis commercials, and we shoot some of our own stuff. And we shot recently a beautiful song composed by Ann Zeiger. We did Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. We thought, wouldn't it be fun to shoot that with puppets, because most of it is done with animation.
Right.
So she arranged this lovely arrangement of Twinkle. And the other telly that we got this year was for Twinkle Twinkle.
Wow.
And
where can one possibly see these videos, like Now's video and your video?
Yes, our YouTube channel.
YouTube, Images in Motion, right?
YouTube channel. And we just finished shooting. Do you know Tanya at Sonoma Chicks?
I just got familiar through now because I believe her and Jill went out there and participated.
Yes, in a fundraiser.
Yeah. But tell us a little bit about that. Yeah.
Sonoma Chicks, wonderful place. It's a rescue and animal sanctuary.
Okay, not just baby chickies.
No, it's not just baby chickies. They have rescued, huge turtle, lots of goats, just all sorts of animals that need a home, didn't have one, and have come to this very safe and beautiful place. Tanya is the head person at the rescue sanctuary, and she is Norwegian. So she has decorated up all the farm buildings are all done in this beautiful red and white.
I was going to say, well, that sounds very...
And if you go
magical.
there, you see a geese walking with a goat. And they're walking, just like they're friends and hanging out. And it's just a wonderful place. So we did do a shoot last month for Tanya. And it's a PSA, please help out the Sonoma Chicks Rescue and Sanctuary.
They take tours out there?
They do take tours. I think it's making some donation to pay for the time. We shot, and it was so fun because I had a chicken, and I put my chicken up with their chickens, and the chickens came over and watched.
Wait, the puppet chicken and the little live chickens?
Yes. Yeah. No, it was such a fun shoot. We were laughing all the time. So we're pitching the Sonoma Chicks Sanctuary, and all the animals came by to check it out and everything. And Kieran, my business partner, edited it, and it's finished. It's up on the Sonoma Chicks, and we're hoping Tony Genesi said that he'd be airing it at the Sebastiani Theater.
Tony Genesi. We love Tony over at
Absolutely.
Sebastiani Theater, another local gem.
He used to be a puppeteer magician way back in his teenage years.
Yes.
And then he worked...
Tony Genesi, he's the GM over at Sebastiani Theater.
Oh.
It really is a small world, because then we got Roger Roten over there. Roger, who married us, my husband and I.
Yes.
Jesse couldn't stop staring at him because he looked like, oh God, what was it? Anyway, so it's another story, but
it is.
I digress.
Yes. And Tony actually worked with Kieran we like to do puppets, but we do a lot of molding and casting for an animation company in the Bay Area that I cannot mention. And we also do all their 3D printing, and we've been doing that for 24 years.
Wow.
So Tony would do that with Kieran for a number of projects because they went to school together. Small world.
Yeah. Oh, man. Well, Lee, okay, outside of puppeteering, what are other things that you enjoy doing?
Besides puppets.
I know. Look at it. She's actually stumbling a little bit.
No. I am a member in a local book club, so reading. My husband is a writer, so I proofread all of his stuff. But basically, if I'm not doing puppets, I'm trying to encourage other people to do it or teaching puppetry. And this is why, the Puppet Festival it's a labor of love. I do hope people in Sonoma will take a look. We've got 20 workshops going on the 2 days, and we've got 6 shows, plus all sorts of other things happening.
Well, you know what was exciting to me? All 3 of us were down at the farmer's market, and you and I are walking around. 2 people came up, including Kate Bruno, who's over at KSBY, remembering you going into Dunbar School.
That was weird.
It was probably 30. It was a long time ago.
Yes, it was a long time ago, and they would have been like 8 years old, 9 years old, and
both of them. It was within 15 minutes, and they called out this memory, this enjoyable memory that they had of you coming out to Dunbar School. I love that.
Pretty cool.
Well, puppets are memorable and they are fun. And I do want to really pitch the educators workshops because we have 6 educator workshops on Friday. So if you are a teacher, a librarian, a youth group leader, or want to do something in your Sunday school and get kids involved in puppetry, or just do it yourself, come to Educators Day. And if you're into SEL, which we all know is social emotional learning, Doug and Annie are going to be performing a show at 10 o'clock, and then they're doing a workshop on what they do is they show something that a puppet is having a problem with, a child's issue with bullying or trying to fit in or personal spaces, and the puppet cannot resolve the problem. And then Doug reaches out to children
Yeah.
in the audience and ask them what they would suggest. What words of wisdom can they give to the puppets? And I called...
They have them.
Yeah, I called Doug the child whisperer.
Aw.
He's really great. I'd recommend the show is at 10 a.m. and they're very special. They do live music. So you have live music, puppets, and some topics that, pertain very much to kids 3, 4, and up. I recommend this show for probably 4 through 8. And then they do a workshop right after it. So
It sounds like there's something here at the Puppet Festival for everyone. And for you, Lee, I think you found something that, what do they say? If you find something you love, you won't work a day in your life. Yeah, but I know you work hard.
yes, but I would do it if I were paid or not.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, being a Sonoma resident, we also have part on here since Gerardo is really the culinary master lead.
Yes, I've
culinary
heard.
over here.
We must talk.
So we're always going to ask. He's always going to ask. Take it away.
Where's your favorite place to eat around here?
Oh, my. Oh, there's lots of them. I like, because I live in Boyce Hot Springs.
Yeah.
I like spread. I think their
Ah,
food is
so
fresh
good.
and well prepared. But El Fuco, we just got the fennel and potato pizza from there this week because it's so hot. Who wants to cook themselves?
No,
Right.
I was like,
And then downtown, there's lots of places, just too many to mention. I have not tried Monday's Bakery.
oh,
It's
Delicious.
so good. I
Okay.
get savory things.
Yeah.
And I
Good.
love their
Yeah.
quiche and
Yeah.
such.
It's
Okay.
delicious.
I'm going to send people there. There will be people in town going to these restaurants.
Yeah.
How about Mexican food?
Mexican food, there's some great places. I like Juanita's out on Arnold. but we're right down from El Molino and La Hacienda. We've got excellent
Yeah.
Mexican. Yes. Where's your favorite?
Well, my favorite's Costa Tacos. That's my
Yes.
favorite.
There yet?
No, I'm hoping that we can get a food truck or Costa Tacos. I
think
have.
They do have a food truck now
Yes.
coming up.
Wow.
And they have tents.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
and
then
I saw
think
them out
they're-
on the road.
You saw them already?
Yeah,
Highway 12
yeah.
by La Hacienda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've eaten there. I think they had a pop-up and
Yeah.
their food is
Delicious.
excellent. We need to talk
delicious.
because people coming to the Puppet Festival will need food.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Let us know.
This
Yeah.
is the guy to make that hookup. We call Costa's Tacos our unofficial non-sponsor. If we
Yeah,
had a
yeah.
sponsor,
So maybe we
boy.
could get them for
they're
Yeah.
everywhere. It
Yeah.
seems like they're working all day long every day.
Yeah.
Let us know if you need help.
Yeah.
We can probably
Food
find
is
something.
very important to a
Oh, yeah.
festival. Yes. Yeah.
We're lucky we have Gerardo here.
Yes, we are.
Who makes us lunches sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic. What else, Lee? So after the Puppet Festival, I know this is all consuming. What's going to be some future projects? You going to take any time off, or you doing any traveling, or?
Yes. Well, after the Puppet Festival, I'm going home to Nova Scotia, see my family. We always make some puppets for family reunion.
No, you must have
And
the funnest family
I
reunion.
have a very fun family. And then
What is Nova Scotia as far as culinary goes? What are they known for? Is there any-
lobster salads, lots of chowders.
Yeah.
Trout,
Trout,
Seafood?
Yep, seafood. Yep,
salmon, right?
Yep.
Smoke, maybe.
I never had smoked salmon
What?
when I lived in Nova Scotia because it all went to New York. Back in the 50s, 60s, when I was growing up, everything got shipped out.
Yeah.
So I had to go to New York and have smoked salmon.
That's wild.
Yeah. Now food is more universal. You can get smoked salmon in any supermarket in Nova Scotia. But no, I hope to do some more puppeteering. I would love to do some more PSAs. I would
Yeah.
love to do something. Do you ever get confused about recycling? Why do you put the caps
Lee.
on a glass bottle before you recycle it? What's the reason behind that?
You know, I'm starting a more of a sustainability department to carry on through Trashin'. So that's some of
Okay.
the things we'll be doing, reuse, fix it clinics and maybe some of that. But let's partner. You know, I would love that.
Yes.
Let's partner, especially with Recology, Sonoma
Yes.
Marin. They do a great job of educating.
Yeah,
in a
I would
simple
love
way.
to do like those wannabe recyclers or the hopeful recycler. Oh, I hope this can go in.
They have a bumper sticker out here that Robert Van de Waal made called Wish Cycling.
Yes.
So, and it's really
It's the
like,
same thing.
throw this in and see what happens. But really, I think we all get a little confused without the pictures there. You know?
I try really hard to recycle, but I do have questions that I think puppets are a great spokespeople.
Yeah.
You know, they're more fun and they bring a lot of humor to any situation. So I think a puppet spokesperson for recycle would be really nice and do some PSAs. You know, you can do PSAs or commercials for anything.
Yeah.
And we've done round table pizza. We've done all sorts of, I used to do Gold Seal Tuna, Cooper Sports, just tons of commercials.
Well, I definitely have wanted to shoot one here since you've been here of Oscar really just trying like being at the ceramics wheel. And, you know, it's just a time to take aside and really get it done right because it's quite a production, I'm sure, setting them up.
Well, come and take the TV puppet workshop.
I am. I will be there.
Sign up because there are only 20 spaces.
Oh,
yes.
I'm in.
So, in fact, I'd suggest sign up as soon as you can for the best choice. And there's some wonderful ones in building and in performing, and there's shadow puppets. And I'm just looking at all the different things. We've got choreography. Oh, and I never mentioned Tommy's Space Adventure, which is the show Saturday at 10.
Okay.
And it combines puppets with digital effects. Art Grunberger from Sacramento, he's the only puppeteer I know that is doing this. I saw his Halloween show, and it had all sorts of ghosts. So I'm sure with pirates, we'll be doing some special effects with pirates. So who doesn't like...
Yarr.
Oh, wait. Oh, no, he's Space Adventure. He's got a pirate show, too.
Oh, okay.
But he's bringing his space thing. So I'm sure we'll see galaxies passing by.
There's something for everyone.
There is, oh, shoot. And after the 10 o'clock show on Friday, there's free puppet building for families that would like to build a puppet.
Okay.
Eileen Kennedy and Heather Golby, who is from Sonoma, they're going to head that up. So come to the 10 o'clock show and make a puppet afterwards.
Fantastic. You heard it here, folks. Lee, is there anything else that we should discuss? I mean, we're getting to lunchtime here. We're starting to get a little hungry.
Yeah.
Time to go to
It's in my
lunch.
face. I'm like,
Yeah.
Let's go to
I'm
lunch.
so pleased that you came. And
Yes.
everybody tune in. You know where the Puppet Festival, where you can find all the information on SonomaCommunityCenter.org.
Tell your friends.
And tell your friends, and we will see you there.
Thank you very much.
all right, Lee, take care.